Hey, party people. Today I want to talk about the three kinds of people who are not yet ready to start a fashion brand. Okay. And I mean this to not discourage you, but to prepare you. So, group number one, people who have no money. Here's what it boils down to. In order to start a fashion brand, and by fashion brand, I do not mean a dropship company where you're buying a bunch of stuff from somebody and then selling it in your store. Okay, that's not a fashion brand. The term fashion brand I'm loosely using here means you design and make a thing after purchasing materials and hiring a production facility to make them. And then you, in turn, sell them to someone else, whether it be wholesale or direct consumer. You make a variety of products in some bulk quantity, and then you sell them to someone else, whether in bulk via wholesale or one by one via direct to consumer. Okay. That's a fashion brand, whether it's shoes, purses, scarves, shirts. Okay? That's my definition of a fashion brand for the sake of this video and most other videos. Okay? But if you want to start a fashion brand, okay, you're going to need money, you're going to need knowledge, and you're going to need connections. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Okay? But those are the key elements to getting a company started. If you come to me as a client and you're like, well, I have no background in fashion, so I have no knowledge of it. And because I have no background in fashion, I don't have any friends who work in fashion, so I have no connections in the industry, and I have no money, my answer to you is you are not ready. Not that you'll never be ready, but you're not ready now. Okay? So you need to build up your resources. You need to start saving money. You need to figure out a way to make money and save that money. You need to grow your skill base. That doesn't mean you have to go to fashion school, but you have to learn things somewhere. Okay? And I've already said this to a million times, but if you're new to me and you're new to my channel and you're new to the way I teach, you don't need to learn how to sew beautifully. You do not need to know how clothes come together. You do need to know what good quality looks like for the price point you're targeting. You do need to know techniques that will elevate your product so that you can communicate that effectively to your factories. You personally do not need to know how to sew in corset boning on your own. That's different, okay? You need money to hire the people to do the things that you don't know how to do. You need money to hire tech designers to build your tech packs so you can communicate with factories. You need to pay the factories to sew your stuff. You need to pay pattern makers because if you're a newbie pattern maker, there's no way your patterns are professional enough for you to build the kind of product that will sell well, especially if you're talking about higher price points. So you need money, you need knowledge, you need connections. Okay? At minimum 2 out of 3. Second group of people who should not start a fashion brand yet. Okay? People who don't design things. I genuinely do not care if I get slammed in the comments for this. But if you are someone who buys ready-made t-shirts from another company and you silk screen whatever design on it, you are not a fashion designer. Okay? You're a graphic designer at best. And those things can be the coolest graphics anyone's ever seen in their lives. And you know what? I love a cool t-shirt. Whatever. That doesn't make you a fashion designer. However, t-shirt designers can be fashion designers. Okay? If you are researching the most sumptuous materials, sustainable, high quality, beautiful, just soft against the body fabrics. If you're researching beautiful seam finishes so that nobody has any itchy armpits, you can sleep in it, it feels so wonderfully soft and cozy and nothing bothers you. Like, I'm someone who is very sensitive to like itchy seams, itchy armpits. And so if you're researching all those construction finishes and you are making a beautiful quality, soft, perfect t-shirt in beautiful silhouettes, dreamy color story, sustainable, beautiful, gorgeous layering pieces. Yeah, that makes you a t-shirt designer. That makes you a fashion designer because you're thinking about the garment construction and all the things that you learn about garment construction. You can move into jersey dresses, pajama sets, loungewear. You're like building that knowledge base of construction and materials. That makes you a fashion designer. But buying t-shirts from Gildan or Hanes or all the other like ready-made t-shirt companies out there and silk screening a thing on it doesn't make you a fashion designer. However, listen, if you already have a bunch of fashion stuff and you're buying t-shirts and putting a silk screen on them in addition to the other things that you're making, that's fine because you're already making other stuff. Okay. So whatever. What I'm saying is you got to design stuff. You got to practice designing stuff. Okay. If you are rolling up to a client meeting with me and all you're doing is showing me your Pinterest board of things that you pin from other people, and you're like, I want to make this and I want to make that, I don't have a lot of excitement for your product because it's not your product. It's one thing to be like, okay, I want to design the perfect khaki pants. And so you go out and research a million different khaki pants, and you go try a bunch of khaki pants on in stores, and you look at Pinterest to look at a bunch of khaki pants to see like how you like different pocket placements, different kinds of, cargo pockets, bellows pockets, well pockets, zippered pockets. Do I want a tab? Like, look at all these examples of different khaki pants. What are the most utilitarian? What are the most camping friendly? Can I do something in, more water resistant materials? Should I have a contrast pocket flap? Like, looking at all these different things and then combining and compiling and editing and putting together your own style based on your research of cargo pants. That's designing because you went through all this knowledge and you're like, no. That's just too many pockets. I just want one pocket. I don't want them there. It's too far to reach down the leg to get that. So I want my pockets up here. Actually, I want to make cargo pants for people in wheelchairs. So I do want a lower pocket because then it's easy for them to access right at the knee. Okay. It is a good spot for people in a seated position to reach for things in their pocket right there. Like, that's thoughtfulness. Okay, that's looking at the world and what's available out there and pulling together your own perfect cargo pants. That's research, that's thoughtfulness. But if you just take a single picture and you're like, I want to make a copy of this, what are you going to, like, is that going to be your whole brand? You're just going to make copies of other people's stuff forever? Like, where's your vision? In my previous cargo pant example, you've done all this editing and researching to kind of like form your own vision for what kind of brand your brand is. Let's say you are thinking about more outdoorsy wear for people in wheelchairs and how you can make those things better. No bulky butt pockets because they'll be sitting on them all day, but bulky pockets that are along the leg, like, that's a vision. That's like creating with thoughtfulness by looking at what's out there in the world. That's different. Okay. Pinterest has its place. I'm a big fan of Pinterest. I make a lot of Pinterest boards as reference boards for my students, especially for my Patreon classes. So I'm not dissing Pinterest at all, but you cannot just give me a single Google search image and be like, I just want to make a copy of that. You got to design some stuff. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every single time, but you got to design some stuff. Like, what's the point of having a fashion brand if you're just going to make knockoffs of other people's stuff? What are you trying to be, a more expensive Zara? Go take a design class. Take my design class. It's $7 a month right now. It's the cheapest it's ever going to be. Go buy my book. Go buy a design journal. Okay? Go take someone else's design class if you don't like me. That's fine, okay? I'm sure there are tons of good teachers out there, but go take a design class, design some projects, design some stuff, find yourself as a designer and explore your aesthetic and explore different aesthetics to see what works for you. Not everything that you initially loved is going to be the thing that stays with you forever. Like, I think about the things that I was obsessed with in fashion school, and some of them still hold true. Like, I will never not love denim. Like, on a personal level and as a designer, as a material to work with as a designer. But there are definitely things that I thought were so freaking cool in fashion school where I'm like, ooh, that's embarrassing. And that's okay. That's okay. That's called learning. The learning is in the doing, okay? I say this a lot. The learning is in the doing. Go design some stuff. Go have fun. Explore. Play. Do some design projects. Group number 3 is a little bit more nuanced, okay? Group number 3 are people whose niche is too niche. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you need to ask yourself, do I need to start a fashion brand, or do I just need a good tailor? And listen, if you think a good tailor is expensive, wait till you find out how much it costs to start a business. Go see point 1 in this video. I'm always talking about how great it is when we can take our life experiences and our frustrations with the garment industry and apply that to create beautiful new things for people who are like you. Okay? So I've had people approach me saying, well, I just had my baby and it was so impossible to shop while I was pregnant and I was looking for X and I just couldn't find X anywhere. And so I really feel like this is a problem that expectant mothers are also experiencing. And I was talking to my mom friends and we were all like, yeah, why can't we find anything like X? Okay. And so when you have something like that and you are talking to other people and they're sharing an experience that this segment of the population is being neglected and there is a hole in the market for this kind of product. Okay. Yeah, maybe you have a point. I have people who come to me and they're like, Zoe, I'm 5'0". Okay, I'm 4'11 and 3/4, but don't tell anyone. And I just need some cute petite clothes. Okay? Like, yeah, there's a lot of short women in the world. Okay? Women, on the other side, I've also had clients who are like, I'm just gonna make cute things for tall women because not everyone wants to wear floods. True. So you have to you have to do some research and think like, oh, is this a problem that is common enough where I can design for an audience and make money? Okay. And it doesn't have to be a $1 billion audience. Okay. Your audience can be smaller, but more specific, and those specific people will follow you. But if you're getting too narrow, okay, if you're like, I can't find anything that fits me personally, then maybe you just go find a really good tailor. Okay? So go find a really good tailor so that they could fit your clothes. Okay? My suggestion is to buy things a size up and then tailor to the smaller measurements. Okay? If you're a bustier person with a smaller waist, get the jacket that accommodates your larger bust and then have a tailor take in the waist. Or vice versa, if that's the case. And think how you can pull back a little bit to be more inclusive and serve a niche, but not be too narrow. And before you spend the tens of thousands, $100,000 on starting a new line, I want you to take a really good look at yourself, your brain, not necessarily your body, but also maybe your body, and ask yourself, do I have a niche market I can serve, or do I need a tailor? Please give this video a thumbs up if you learned something new today. Please buy my book if you haven't already. And if you have bought my book, please rate it at whatever website you bought it from. That would help me a lot. And if you can't afford my book, try requesting it at your local library or your school library. As usual, drop your video requests and questions below, and I will see you in the next video.